feel, felt, found. Triple F. The feel, felt, found method is a technique many salespeople are familiar with when it comes to objections from a client during the sales process. Knowing how and when to utilize the technique can mean the difference between neutralizing the objection or magnifying it. Together, we will dissect exactly how this technique can aid you in combating a customer's concerns. The proper steps in the Triple F equation are as follows. Show you understand or feel what they're saying. Have compassion when a customer is bringing a concern to you. Explain to them that you understand their sentiments exactly, that you're viewing everything from their perspective and not just as a salesperson attempting to close a deal. Say something like, "I can certainly understand how you could feel that way." When the customer feels like you have put yourself in their shoes, they can feel as if you're treating them how you would want to be treated. Let them know you can relate and have felt the same way before. Bridge a connection. The mistake many salespeople make is trying to sell a product they hadn't had any experience with. Fully understanding what you're selling and the ability to highlight personal experiences with the product or service allows for the salesperson to highlight the great aspects of the product or service. Say something like, "Others have felt the same way that you do." This creates the connection needed between the salesperson and the client and gives the client the assurance needed when an objection occurs. Give them a solution or tell them what others have found or discovered to work. Correction. Results. People love results. Give experiences and examples of customers that you have followed up with that have had their problem corrected by your product or service. Say something like, "What they have found is that..." Many of us are afraid to take that first leap. That's why an objection may occur. Explaining how someone else took the leap and it went well for them may be the story a client needed to hear to overcome their objection. You may run into common problems when applying this method to a customer. Problems that go deeper than just making the necessary connection on the surface. If a customer honestly believes you are not fully grasping their problem and are only interested in selling to profit yourself, telling them that you understand can go from good to bad in a matter of seconds. This misunderstanding can go even as far as deteriorating the entire relationship that you intended to build with the customer. The "I understand" statement alone mimics the generic "I'm fine" response during small talk when someone asks you, "How are you?" There's no sincerity in those statements. Every customer is an individual, and this is where you differentiate and delve into detailed conversation, ousting all possibility of insincerity on your behalf. Feel. X. Compassion deals with the understanding and association of another person's problems. To understand the customer's problem fully is to competently understand the breakdown of the Latin-based language roots of the word. The prefix "com," meaning with, and the suffix "passion," or "passio" in late Latin, meaning suffering. Just saying "I understand" can unintentionally convey to the customer that you are being dismissive of their problems, or even condescending, souring the relationship before it even has a chance to bloom. To avoid this, identify that you have a comprehensive understanding and that they're not the only ones experiencing these problems. This opens the door for validation of their belief and doesn't appear as though you're idly and passively agreeing in order to make a sale. Felt. Why? Once you have ended the customer's feeling of isolation in their problem, creating a connection is the next step. This connection is addressing the reality of the problem and adjusting their attitude in order for them to allow you to fix it. That means eliminating their skepticism by figuratively pacing their belief in the solution and not presenting a solution as an overnight fix. Be aware that the problem exists and highlight that having the proper positive attitude will assist in fixing that problem. The major difficulty in the obstacle of objection is adjusting to the correct mentality and bridging a positive connection. Found. Z. Finally, we have reached the correction stage after we have shown true compassion and identified the necessary connection needed. Formulas and equations produce results. X plus Y equals Z. The focus of correlation is focusing on the end result variable, Z. Simply stating things to customers and hoping they understand what you mean will get you nowhere. You must engage with the customer to have your statements truly resonate with them. Outline that others have had the same problems and feelings, X. Adjust their mindset, thereby believing a positive solution can be assisted by their attitude towards the problem, Y. Eventually resulting in the correction of their problem, Z. An objection can be overcome following this pattern if you run into consumers who believe all hope is lost when it comes to their problem. You're restructuring and raising their expectation with 3 easy steps.